Hey, happy Thursday. Okay, I'm trying to get my days together. I cannot believe that we are already in the month of May. So I'm excited to be here. I want you guys to sit back, relax. When it comes to things having a timeline and, you have to wait for the results, it can be so overwhelming, stressful, but I just thought, hey, you know what? It's the beginning of the month. Why not just go live and talk, about this whole experience and talk about the power of collaboration. I think it's so important for us to be focused and really clear on some of the things that we are working towards. And that's just one of the things that I would say about this whole experience for this Supermom fundraiser. So, I had did this last year, and this year, my kids nominated me and submitted the information for me to be a part of this again. So, I'm just taking it in stride and just thinking about the power of collaborating, of raising awareness. I think it's so important when we're thinking about the children. Sometimes we can get so focused in, the day to day, the hustle and bustle, and just taking some time to pause and reflect and have gratitude for where we are and for our own children, and realizing that each of us can contribute something to help the whole world be a better place. So that is what this is all about. So while we're waiting, for the results. The cutoff is 7 p.m. Pacific time. And so that is 10 p.m. So I thought I would just go live and talk about giving value during this little waiting period. So if you have any questions or any insights that you would like to share, feel free to put them in the chat. And then I am also going to put the link here in the comments. So if you would like to join me on camera, feel free to click on that link, and that will bring you in the studio and you can come on live and ask your question. And so that's what we're going to do. All right. So I am, just came on live and I wanted to share my screen for these um, seven things that I wanted to share. So I'm trying to look because you know what? I haven't been on here in a while. And let's see, I'm going to present and see if I can. Okay, slides and PDF. So, I should have had this done ahead of time. But anyway, that's just how it is. Life happens, and I didn't even realize that it was already 9:30. When you have a household like ours, and it's getting to be the end of the school year. And so just trying to keep our kids focused, keep myself focused, right? Because the countdown is on. We have a senior who is graduating May 21st. And so today was his last day of exams. And so they get out of school early. So he doesn't have to go to school tomorrow. So it's kind of bittersweet. It's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe, we've closed a chapter for another one of the children. So then we'll be down to just four of them that are going to be school age. So, again, if you have any questions, anything you want me to answer, this is just free flow, nothing, real personal. I mean, nothing real formal. So, if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. Okay. So, I am going to share my screen. So, let me see. I can add this to the stage. It's been such a long time. Okay. So, we're talking about 7 tips to be a super mom. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be just for women, okay? Because there are men that could possibly glean a lot from this presentation. But a lot of women are always asking me questions about, how do I do it all? And we'll get into that because I'm just assuming that everybody knows who I am. So I am going to do a little introduction. So I'm a wife and a mother of 15 children. So that's my husband there, Jerome. We've been married for 32 years. And this slide shows a number of our children. I think there's only like maybe two or three that might not be in the picture. Um, but I'm a media strategist, so I really help business owners learn how to monetize their passion, their message, and create a global impact through media. So, this is a little bit about the media that I've been a part of: magazines, charities, podcasts, Rachel Ray Show. And then I'm also a TV producer. So I have a micro channel on Zandra TV Network, and we are broadcast on several different platforms. And I have some producers who put content on that channel. And so these are some of my producers. And then I also have my own show, Real Life Without Excuses. And the name of my micro channel is Keep It Real TV. And the most important thing I think is being an overcomer of 13 years of depression. Definitely couldn't have done that on my own. I give all glory and honor to the Lord, who, really helped turn my story around. I was in this spot for so long that I just didn't even think there would be something on the other side. So, really excited about that. During the time of going through it, I definitely say that that was not an experience that I would like to repeat. But I think, I have learned so much about myself, about other people. It's just really helped me to really mold me to be a better person. And I owe that all to my experience. So now, as a result of overcoming that journey, my passion is sharing my insights on any platform that I could find. So, in addition to having my own platform, I love speaking and podcasting and any place that I can show up and share about my journey. I am passionate about doing it because I feel that we all have a story, and no one is exempt from that. So, understanding that, we all can learn from one another. Now, I'm looking here and I don't see any comments. So, if you're on other platforms, um, I am not able to see the comments. I'm seeing these little messages come up about me not being able to see them. So, you can continue to comment. And when I get done with the broadcast, I'll go back and answer the questions. Um, if you are wanting to join me live on stage, then you would need to go to the YouTube channel, and you can see the link that's in the comments. And so, see, this is another thing, trying to post stuff in different places, right? Because this is going on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube, but I can't see those comments. So you just gotta love technology. So I just thought I'd share that because some people are like, I'm over here commenting and she's not even saying anything. So, you know, I just wanted to give you a heads up. Okay, so some of the questions that people ask me is, how do I do it all? How big is our house or our car? Do we have any twins? What are the ages? Are some of the kids adopted? Do you have foster kids? These are a lot of the questions that many people ask me. And so I just feel that, there is no secret sauce to anything when it comes to being a parent. I think we all struggle with the same thing, whether you have one child or whether you have 15 or even more than 15. We have a producer on our network that has been a foster parent to 227 foster kids. Okay. So it just is understanding that everybody is different. You have to give yourself grace, and you also have to give your kids grace, because a lot of times, we are speaking from our experience and we expect them to know and do things that they just haven't learned yet. So we have to be patient and understanding with them for that. Okay. So I'm just going to run through the kids. Some of these pictures are not even current. So my kids would probably have a fit if they saw some of these pictures. But, I just came up with this like a few minutes before I got on this call. And I was like, well, people probably want to know. We have group photos. But, one of the things that I've learned just on my journey with the children is, um, we sometimes could be so focused on the large number, the whole family, that we forget about them being individuals. So this was a good exercise because it just reminded me that we need to get some current pictures for some of our kids as individuals because we do take a lot of group photos. Okay, so the oldest is Jerome Brendan. He's 35. Then we have Taylor, who is 32. We have Christian, who's 32. That's a whole story. So if y'all are like, wait a minute, she said no twins, but they're the same age, you have to go to one of my episodes on Zandra TV Network. I'll put that link in the chat. And it's a whole story behind them being the same age. Okay, so we have Jonathan, and he is into music and DJing. He writes music, performs. And so this is one of his latest projects. So he is known as Bravado, and he's 30 years old. We have Alexandria, who's 28, Mackenzie, who is 27, Victoria, who is 25, Elizabeth, who is 24, Olivia, who's 22. And this is her, she's actually in France. So for her 22nd birthday, she went to Paris by herself so that she, because that's just something she wanted to do. So that's her in Paris. This is Danielle, who's 20. And then these are the three boys. This is Jeremiah, Jordan, that's Jerome, my husband, and Joshua, who's 16. These are their ages, 18, 15, and 16. Then we have Faith, who's 13, and Hope, who's 11. Okay, so that's a lot of names, a lot of things to keep up with. So I call them each other all the time. Okay, and that's just one of the things you do. You are thinking about one of them and you just call them the other one. Like the last two, Faith and Hope, they probably wouldn't even know what their name was if it was up to me because I'm calling them each other all the time. All right, so we're going to get into 7 tips to being a super mom. Okay, so these are just a few tips. I mean, there's so many more that I could go into, but I thought I would just keep it simple at 7. Okay, so the first thing is you have to really know yourself, right? I know when I was going through my journey with depression, I did not really know my own identity. You could ask me what was my favorite color, my favorite food. And I was so focused on caring for other people that I just didn't have a good sense of what my desires, wants, and likes were. So I really didn't know myself. I was just so busy serving, thinking that's what I was doing, because actually I was at a point where I was pouring from an empty cup. I was not doing the things to build myself up and to keep moving forward. So I'm sorry, I have some people who are asking which page to get on. Okay. So this is real life, y'all. Okay. So we are in real time uh going through trying to help people. Let me see. I'm just going to see if this is even showing live because it should be on this page. So let me see if I'm telling her the right thing. Um, but let me see. It's saying it's happening now. Um, I have no idea how this stuff works. Let's see. Can I copy a link? Okay, gotta love it. Well, what I'll do is message her afterwards. I tell you, this stuff is just there are so many advances from AI to tools and all these different things. It is hard to keep up. Now just imagine you're working a regular job every day, tending to your family, kids, other family members, other things that are going on in your life. It is just really challenging to keep up with all these new things that are happening. And to really learn the relevance and how it's important maybe to your job or industry, and taking the time to get to learn how to do it, right? So, you just have to give yourself grace and realize that, I think part of knowing myself is just understanding that I can't do it all, right? I can't be everywhere. I can't do it all. I don't know everything. And so when you have that attitude, it makes it a lot easier for you to deal with the ups and downs, the twists and turns of life, because it is very challenging. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. And, we do talk about our highlight reels, which are very important, because they inspire people, they help them to be encouraged. They see that you're doing it, so they feel that they could do it. But one of the issues with that is that, we sometimes compare ourselves to those highlight reels because nobody is going to purposely go and talk about bad things, right? They are going to put their best foot forward. It's like an interview. You're not going to show up uh, for an interview not looking your best, right? You want to be able to create that story that helps people to trust, to believe in you, and want to be a part of, want you to be a part of their business establishment or whatever. Okay, so knowing yourself is really important because it helps you when you're connecting with people to know where you start and where other people uh begin, right? Or where you end and other people start. So for example, if I know myself and maybe I'm not a morning person, right? I'm just using this as an example. So if I know myself, I know I'm not a morning person, then I won't take things maybe so personal from other people, because it's like, you know what? I'm not at my best in the morning. I don't always have the best attitude or whatever. And so you learn to give yourself that pause and say, you know what? I'm taking what they're saying so personal when really I might not have been in the best mood, right? So you're able to separate your feelings and emotions from what happens instead of always thinking it's about you. Okay. So that's the value with knowing yourself. Okay. So the second thing is collaborating with others. Um, this is important because, no man is an island. So I was an only child, and I was raised to be independent, to learn how to do a lot of things by myself because I didn't have siblings. And I think one of the things that really molded me for was a lot of scarcity and selfishness to some extent. So, for example, if you are independent, you may feel like it's a sign of weakness to ask somebody for help, or you feel like people are out to get your stuff all the time, right? Somebody's trying to steal my idea or steal my project or whatever. And so it makes you very leery of other people, afraid to trust them, because you have this thing like you always got to watch your back. So I think that has been the biggest game changer for me, is learning how to collaborate with other people, because I have found that I can sleep at night, I can go on vacation, I can take a day off, I can do all these things that I couldn't do before because I was burning the candle at both ends. I felt like I had to do everything. Even if I didn't know something, I would stay up late researching it, just crazy stuff, trying to do it all the time. And one day I was in prayer, and I believe that God said, now you believe that Jesus died on the cross. for the sins of the world for everybody. And he had 12 disciples. So what makes you think you could do it by yourself? So I thought, this is true. So why am I driving myself crazy trying to do all these things on my own, right? Collaboration is really important. Now, when you're collaborating with people, it's important to ask the right questions and find people that share your values. I have found that there are people that I collaborate with that I would not have even thought that I would be collaborating with, because we have so many things that might be different. I have a lady that we are co founders of a club on Clubhouse. She doesn't have children, and I have children. She's tall, I'm short, right? Um, she's a different culture than me. And I feel like I would not have ever come across her path if it wasn't for me being open and just curious to what God has for me. Because I think, we sometimes close doors on stuff before we even give it a chance to see how it's going to pan out. So, collaboration is really important because it really helps you to have peace of mind. Okay. The next thing is building a tribe. You got to have a good foundation, right? Because you just can't do it all by yourself. So when you have a tribe, you're able to have other people support you. There's just, we're human. So there's times when we get sick, we have family members that get sick, we have things that happen outside of our control. If you're in certain parts of the country, you have natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, right? All these different things that could happen. And so it really makes things so much better when you have a tribe, right? And so, again, these are people that you feel that you're in alignment with. You may not look the same. You may not talk the same. You may not be the same age, the same gender. But when you have a tribe, it is people that come together and they have strengths that are different than your strengths. And all together, you make it work. Okay. So the next thing is mastering your skills. What are some things that you're really good at? A lot of times we try to be perfect in all areas, and we miss out a lot on the opportunity to have a lighter load. I know for myself, I never would have thought that I would be able to go to sleep at a decent hour, take some days off. Now, I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it, but I feel like, if I just work ahead, there is time that I could take off from what I do every day if I just simply plan. And so when you master your skills, the thing about that is being able to do the things that you're good at and then delegating or collaborating with other people that are good at the things that you're not good at. Okay. So when you master your skills, you actually can maximize your potential or your output because you're doing the things that come easy for you. It's just something that is like second nature. You can do it in your sleep. It's nothing that you're stressed out about, and other people are doing the same thing. And so when you come together, it's really like you're not even working. You're amazed at how quickly you can get projects done and how, it really can help you move forward with a lot of your goals and things that you're working towards. Okay. So mastering your skills is key. And that's simply asking people as well, getting with people for classes, courses, or mentorship, just in the areas that you might feel you're a little deficient in. Now, I feel like the longer we live, there's more depth to who we are, right? You might be a college graduate, got a degree in something. The pandemic comes and it has totally transformed how we work today. So it may require you to share your knowledge with other people or learn new skills because something that you were doing before the pandemic might even be obsolete now. So when we are in a space of always being open to change and trying new things, we learn that we can always stay abreast of what's current and new. Okay, so the next thing is prioritizing self care. Now, I think this is important to add also, not just self care, but self love, right? Because a lot of people think, oh, going and getting a massage, that's me doing my self care, or I'm getting my feet and toes done, that's my self care. No, self care is around you establishing the things that are important to you. It is establishing boundaries for yourself. It is reading. It's podcast or conversations where you're learning more about your personal development, in order for you to continue to be relevant. Now, so I feel like, as a parent, it can be easy, especially via a lot of children, to be in a space. This is our 10th child graduating from high school. So it can be easy for us to say, "Ah, we already know about this graduation stuff," and really not take some time to really acknowledge our son for this being his first time graduating. So even though we might have been through this 9 times before him, we owe him the grace and the commitment, right, to treat this as if it's his first time, right, which it actually is, and so understanding that he has a special place. And so a lot of times we can kind of lose sight of that when we're in a space to where we're always doing something and it's gotten to be a routine, and we're not prioritizing for our self-care, for the self-care of other people. And I think, they say it best on the airplane that we have to put our own oxygen mask on first before we try to care for anybody else. Because at the end of the day, we're not having enough oxygen. And then we're sitting over here thinking that we're really helping somebody else when we're on the verge of passing out or dying ourselves. Okay. The next thing is a sleep routine. Now, this is really important because, this was one of the things that I really was deficient in during that 13-year journey. Sleep is so important because it really impacts your body and how it heals. It can affect your weight, your mindset, because you're not able to think clearly because you are just not giving your body time to reset every night. So sleep is very important. And if it's something that you're struggling with, just start trying to do things little by little every day. Don't try to put too much on yourself. So in my case, I was sleeping 4 or 5 hours a night, right? And still getting up, running around, doing things with the kids. Sometimes I was homeschooling, nursing children, running them back and forth to school, extracurricular activities, and then all the other responsibilities. So you can start out 4 or 5 hours, and then you just try to increase it by 30 minutes or an hour. Now, I'm not a doctor or anybody that can professionally tell you these things. I can only share my own journey. But the key is to not bite off more than you can chew. The key is to just start where you are and gradually start taking those baby steps to get where you want to be. So 7 or 8 hours is ideal for us to think about when it comes to sleeping. But if you're at 4 or 5 hours, then just start where you are and gradually work your way into doing something a little bit more that's more towards where you should be. Okay. And then the last thing is to take action. I think a lot of times we try to overanalyze things and we try to figure out, okay, I want to know how everything is going to end up before I even get started. And that is the wrong attitude to have, because a lot of the things that we have fear about or anxiety, it is coming from a place of ignorance. We haven't done anything towards what it is that we're wanting to work towards. And so we don't have any real data. So when you start taking action, you actually begin to get real data, and then you can continue to move closer towards your goal because you're dealing with the reality of what really are the issues with it, whatever it is that you want to do. Otherwise, it's speculation and it's something that we can make up in our head. So, the last thing that's a bonus is to simply share, right? Share your insights with other people, the things that you've learned. That's the best way that you can connect with other people, that you can be relevant, that you can build your tribe, that you can meet new people, that you can continue to grow is simply sharing. Okay. So we do have a meet and greet this Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those who want to join, it is going to be on Zoom, and I'm going to put that link also in the chat for what it is that we're doing. And let's see here. So I am going to look on my phone and see what the results are. See if I made it to um, the top 10. Okay, so we're going to look. See, I made it. If you guys were able to see that, yes, we are still in the top 10. So I am excited. I am going to put the link in the chat. If there's anything that you would like to contribute to Children's Miracle Network, I will also put my link in here because, it takes a village. We just cannot do it alone. So I want to thank everybody who has been voting. It takes a village. It's something we can't do by ourselves. But, there are so many people that are in this world and everything counts. Everything makes a difference. So I am going to put the link for that in this chat as well. And, you just learn about these things as you go. I'm just I'm going to put that link in there. So that's the link for the fundraiser. So if you want to give, if you want to share it, just simply on your social media, that is giving, right? There's so many things that we could do that don't cost us anything. It's about social currency. We also have this meet and greet. So let me find the link for that and I will put that in the chat. And if anybody has any questions, again, feel free to put them in the comments. Again, I was trying to say that I cannot see all of the places where people may be commenting because you just got to love this technology, right? It's something that you just, I don't know. I mean, I'm just not a tech savvy person. So, I can definitely keep everybody entertained by running my mouth, but all this other tech stuff, I mean, I can't even tell you. There was another link that I was supposed to be putting in here. Um, Not sure what that link was for because I put that I was going to put that in there. I think it was for the meet and greet. Um, but I'll go back and kind of review these things. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for your support. Go onto the Children's Miracle Network website, look at some of the great things that they are doing. We just never know how we might be impacted by their organization, whether it's a neighbor, a family member, our own children. We have a daughter who was a part of Children's Hospital of Atlanta, which is an extension of Children's Miracle Hospitals, and she had to have back surgery. When she was in middle school, she had scoliosis and had to have rods and screws put in her back. So you just never know what kind of things could occur, from sports injuries, to different things. So I just have a lot of gratitude. I'm grateful for being able to move to the next round. So I appreciate again everybody's support and share on your social media. If you have any questions or if you have any insights that you would like to add to this video, please put it in the thread of whatever platform that you're watching on, and I'll be sure to connect and respond. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful May, because it's Mother's Day month. So be sure to take some time to let those moms know how much they mean to you. So have a great night, everybody. Bye for now. See you next time.